in November of 2000, at Thanksgiving time, my husband said to me, I don't want to talk all Thanksgiving weekend. Can we have a silent weekend? A silent weekend? What do you mean a silent weekend? He said, I just don't want to talk. I just kind of wanted just to be, silent. And we weren't mad at each other. We weren't having any issues. There was no, reason for him to say that, other than if he just wanted to watch football and didn't want to be bothered. But anyway, so I was offended. I mean, what am I supposed to do? My family's in California. I'm just supposed to cook in here all day while you watch your games, and I'm not supposed to talk to anybody. I don't have any family here, so I'm going into the black woman role. And I just, are you serious? Have you lost it? And so I told him, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to write every single thought, every joke, every story, everything that comes to my mind. I'm going to write it down. And on Monday, I'm letting you have it. I'm talking all day Monday. I'm just going to warn you. And he said, okay. And so that's what happened. Now, here I am. I got to give you a picture of the full look of me going through all the pain that I was dealing with. I had an ice pack around my shoulders because my neck and shoulders were so tight and my back was so tight. I had a brace around my waist. I had my hospital shoes on, and I'm moving around in the kitchen trying to cook Thanksgiving dinner. But I had my notepad, I had my pen, and I was ready. And so ideas started coming to me, and I just jotted them down. And then I thought, oh, that's interesting. And I wrote that down. And then I went and made some mashed potatoes. And then I came, another idea came. So I'm writing, and then next thing you know, I'm into the book, and I'm just writing, and stuff is just flowing, and ideas are coming, and oh, this is, and then it got to a point to where it wasn't even conscious. I wasn't conscious of what was actually ending up in the book. I was just kind of free flowing and letting whatever hit the pen ended up on the paper. And I wrote all day Thursday, all day Friday, all day Saturday, and by early evening on Saturday evening, I started to read what I had written, and the tears started to pour down my face. I mean to tell you, I could not believe what was on that pad. I started crying, and then I started wailing, and then I started rocking, and now I'm on the floor, and I'm rocking, and I'm wailing, and I'm crying, and he runs out, and he's like, "What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you?" And I'm babbling, and I'm like, "Oh my God, I can't believe it, oh my God," just thinking about it right now. Anyway, I realized that it was not me writing, but it was God writing through me, to me. And he was showing me all that he had placed within me. He showed me the gifts that he had given me, and how the experiences that I had had in my life were equipping me and providing me with lessons that I would not only be able to apply to my own life, but that I would be able to teach other people, and that they would be able to learn and be healed by my story. And he told me a lot of stuff, but he showed it to me, as that was the powerful part. He said, remember when this happened? This is when I gave you this gift, and this is when I made it stronger by when I connected you with this person, and then this person helped build it in another way, and so now this gift can be used like this. And so this is how he wrote to me, and it freaked me out. It did, because when I heard that voice back in October, I didn't even know it was God. I didn't know God could talk to you. I didn't know that. Never heard of anybody in my lifetime that I believed that had heard from God. And now not only had I heard from him, but I have, he just read me he read my mail. And he showed me what I was going to do, and that I was going to write books and share all of this stuff. And and the weight of responsibility in that moment just kind of fell on me, because all I could think about was, how am I going to do this? Because I'm in so much pain. And I can't even take a flight of stairs. So how am I gonna empower and encourage anybody? How, I couldn't even see past I couldn't even see past my own pain to be able to get to the healing. Excuse me, let alone be able to help somebody else. I couldn't even imagine it. So I was just bawling and wailing. And then, the next thought is, oh, Lord, I have a husband. What's he going to think about this? He's used to his wife being this woman. How am I going to show him that this is really who I am? Now I got to really come out of the box, because he knows this woman. This is the woman he knows. But this woman is who God is showing me I have been called to be. And I can't be her in a box. So the interesting thing about that whole experience is it marked me in such a way where a few weeks later, one of my colleagues from my job that I was on disability from, she knew I was hurting, and she knew that I was going through all of this stuff physically, and she was going to this church in my town, World Changers, and so she decided to offer me some VHS tapes. This is how long ago that was. Some VHS tapes of her pastor that might help me strengthen me. And so I started to watch some of these tapes, and what shook me to my core was some of the things that my today pastor then was saying verbatim was what God had written to me in my notes. And I heard him say it, like, just in you got a VHS playing, and you just doing your thing, you're listening to the video or whatever, and then he said something, and I heard it, and I'm like, oh my God, that's the same thing I wrote. That's the same thing God said. And I went to my notes, and I'm like, hold on, where is that? And then he did it again. And then every single time I would hear him. Now I'm trying to listen for it. Where's another tape? Let me get another one. Put it this in, see if he says it again. And it kept happening. And so then I started watching him on TV, and it kept happening. And so my husband, and now I'm watching it on TV, and he's hearing some of these messages, and so he's interested in what this. So we decided to visit. And ever since then, every single time I would go to church, it would be the same thing. Everything that I had written, or I was hearing from this pastor. So over the next I don't know how many years, I actually learned, my pastor taught me how to dig through the Bible even deeper, and how to get real understanding, and how to dissect things, and how to rightly divide it, and how to understand the terminology and the differences in the languages, and how translation impacts the understanding. And there was just so much more to it than just open this Bible and read it, and then you'll be blessed and you're going to heaven. So at the same time, though, after I joined that church, my body got even worse. My neck and shoulders were so tight it pulled my spine out of alignment. It caused 2 discs to rupture in my low back and 3 in my neck. I had all kinds of stuff happen. And I ended up being diagnosed with fibromyalgia. And basically, it's a lifelong prognosis of chronic pain. They basically said that you will hurt for every breath until you take your last one, and which means you're going to be taking anti-anxiety medicines, antidepressants. You're going to be taking muscle relaxers, anti-everything. And if it gets too much, if you have a stressful event in your life that causes a flare-up where you're literally laying in the bed for 2 weeks because you can't function because you're locked up, then you have to take pain pills, which are addictive, by the way. So I had gotten to a point where they were prescribing 120 pain pills a month. A month. I couldn't even keep up with the prescription. I couldn't even take that many pills. So while all that was happening, God told me that, they told me that, well, in the year 2000, I turned 30. So all of my 30s was my childbearing years were all just fibromyalgia. And they told me that with all the medicines that I was taking, that there was no way that I would be able to carry a baby, hold a baby, like in my arms because of all of this. I wouldn't be able to hold a baby. And then my body wouldn't be able to sustain the pregnancy. And then with all the medicines, I would never be able to be off of them and function. So adoption, I need to start considering that. That's what they told me. So anyway, in 2011, it took me 11 years, and I finished my book. I wrote my stories. I wrote the stuff that I learned, all the lessons that I learned over that period of time. And the book is called The Self-Love Lessons. 7 lessons every woman must learn about herself and the power of womanhood. And in it, I teach women how to know where you are so you can get where you're going, how to understand God's real love for you, because I didn't know how to love me. I didn't know how to choose healthy friendships, healthy love relationships. I didn't know how to set boundaries in my life. I didn't know how to express myself in a way where I didn't feel ashamed, or didn't feel like I was unworthy of really communicating how someone was hurting me. All that stuff just created more and more wounds and made me stuff even more into a box and isolate myself. And all of that was so unhealthy that my body was like, no, this isn't good for you. We're shutting down. That's basically what happened. So in 2011, 11 years, in the 11th month, the 11th anniversary of God speaking to me, I submitted my manuscript to the publisher, and it was done. The next month, God told me to stop taking the anti-anxiety and antidepressant medicine. The month after that, he told me to stop taking the pain medicine. And he kind of weaned me off of it. He just said, start weaning from these things. Stop taking the pain medicine. Stop taking the muscle relaxers. Stop taking all this. Now, I didn't even mention this. When you're in constant pain, it causes your blood pressure to elevate. So I was taking blood pressure medicine too. So he weaned me off of all of this stuff once my book was finished. And that January, I got pregnant. And boy, were we excited. And that's a whole nother story. And it's a powerful one because back in 2005, he told me that we don't have to have pain when we deliver our babies. And imagine that now. And I didn't think this message was for me because I couldn't have any babies anyway. So let me just tell somebody else. Well, lo and behold, I'm pregnant. And a few months later, we lost the baby. A few months after that, we got pregnant again, and we had the baby. So I've packaged the entire story in what I call SuperNaturalChildbirth.com. And if you're interested in hearing that story and going on the journey and learning how you too can have a baby without having any pain, I'll share that with you. Just go there to the website, SuperNaturalChildbirth.com. Anyway, so I'm sharing my story. I wanted to just kind of share my heart with you and just let you know part of me and part of why I'm here on these Wisdom Wednesdays. This is just the beginning. There's a lot of nuggets that I couldn't share in just this little bit of time, but I want to start digging into them. I want to start just kind of peeling the onion layers back and dealing with some things. And I'm, like I said in the beginning, I'll be sharing, telling my business, putting it in the streets. This is on YouTube, okay? So everybody knows all of this at this point, and I want to be able to let my life be that light and let you in, because it's so funny. A few months ago, I felt led to do these videos, and some of you remember they were called Unapologetically Me, and it was a 30-day exercise in vulnerability. I got to maybe day 6. And when I started looking at the videos back, I'm looking at me and I'm thinking, who is that? Oh my gosh, what is this mask I'm seeing you wear? Whoa, who? Oh my, I didn't even realize that I was wearing that mask. I mean, there were other masks that I knew I had to take off, and I thought I was doing that. But it took me to watch those videos to realize, hold on a second, there's still something that's a little off here. We got a little bit more work to do before we can fully feel safe in being completely vulnerable. And that's where we are today. So it took me a minute. But God is a healer. He loves you just like He loves you. And that's the other thing, I don't want I don't want you to feel like this is going to be a session to work on you all the time and, work you out and figure your stuff out and all of this. Really, I want to make space for you to be able to look at your life from a different perspective, because sometimes it's all in the way you see things that can determine whether or not you can move through it. And if you don't move through it, that obstacle is going to still be there, and you'll keep bumping up against it until you finally say, you know what is this? I got to this is a mountain in my way. I can move past it, but I got to look at it for what it is first. And sometimes that requires you to stand in the mirror and say, ooh, that's ugly. I got to learn to love it. I can grow through this. Ugh, it's not cute, but it's me, and it's not perfect. But God loves me anyway, and He's not mad at me, and He's not punishing me, and I don't have to worry about His wrath because He poured all that out already. It's done. So I'm glad that you took the time to spend our first Wisdom Wednesdays session together, and I'm looking forward to next week. I know it's going to be an amazing time. We are about to just embark on a journey that's going to be really, 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 really powerful. So thank you so much again for joining me. I can be reached at www.queeniebrown.com. I hope you will decide to socialize with me online. I have a Facebook page. It's facebook.com/the Queenie Brown, the Queenie Brown. That's me. And then I'm on Twitter at QueenieB. And I have a website, and I want you to go to the website. If you're interested in the book, The Self-Love Lessons, you can find information there about the book. And one of the things that we will be doing, I'll be sharing some lessons, and some of the things that we talk about will come from the book, because God had me write it, and it's interesting. He had me write the book, but He kept telling me that I'm intending for you to teach it. I need you to teach this book so that they learn the lessons and then use your life and your example and your experience to help them see it maybe from a different perspective. So that's what we'll be doing. I respect your time. I thank you for joining me and having lunch with me today. Please, please, please leave a comment. I wasn't able to check comments today. I just kind of wanted to just share my heart with you and let you get to know and come into my world just for a moment. But going forward, we're going to keep this thing interactive, and we're going to make it fun. We're going to make it light, and we're going to, laugh. And some days we go into the depths of the ocean. I'm going to warn you, but I'll let you know when you need your tank. Anyway, I love you, and God loves you, and I'm grateful to have you in my life, and I'm grateful to be on this journey with you. So until next time, I'm Queenie Brown, and I'll see you on Wisdom Wednesdays next Wednesday at noon. Bye-bye.